Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests. I am Edsel Ford's proud principal, Scott Casebolt, and it is my privilege and honor to introduce to you the Edsel Ford High School graduating class of 2019. Yes, and what a beautiful evening we've been blessed with. I would like to call upon Miss Brianna Baliat and Ali Barrow for our 2019 class president and our daily pledge director to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance at the conclusion of the national anthem. Everyone, please rise.
السلام عليكم، عيد مبارك على الجميع. لو سمحتوا قوموا تسمعوا النشيد الوطني. مشكورين.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and everyone.
Well done. Please, everyone, be seated. Good evening, parents, students, staff, guests, and soon-to-be graduates of Edsel Ford High School. This year's senior class has made outstanding contributions to building a vibrant learning community by creating a diversity of connections within the school and our community. This class of 2019 has definitely met our challenge by adding to Edsel Ford's brand and legacy. Class of 2019, it was you. You were the leaders that set the example and allowed us to grow both academically and socially like never before. What I took away from these past 4 years with you is that our potential as human beings is limitless. Class of 2019, you have convinced me that over the course of the past 4 years, you've set the bar very high for your future cohorts. You should feel very proud. Certainly the class of 2019 will be greatly missed, and all of us here tonight can testify they are much more than grade point averages, great performance, and athletic achievements. By putting students first, graduates of Edsel Ford High School and Dearborn Public Schools receive a quality education that will arm them for the future. Each one of these students honored here today have contributed to Edsel's brand and legacy in some form or fashion. They have done themselves and us proud. They deserve a hearty congratulations and wishes for a strong future. Seniors, thank you for an excellent year. Well done. Edsel Ford High School is blessed to have so many friends and supporters. Please allow me to introduce to you our honored guests for this evening. Please kindly hold your applause until all have been introduced. First of all, from our Board of Education, Mary Pletchikoff, President. Mr. Hussein Berry, Vice President. Miss Mary Lane, Treasurer. Mr. Jim Thorpe, Board Secretary and guest speaker tonight. Ms. Roxanne McDonald, trustee, and Mr. Adel Mozip, trustee. Of course, sure, give him a hand. Of course, also Dr. Glenn Maleyko, Superintendent, Dearborn Public Schools. Dr. Jill Chokel, Executive Director, Student Achievement, Edsel Ford Feeder Track. Ms. Mesa Mali Bazzi, Executive Director, HR. Ms. Rose Aldubailey, Director of ELL. She is special. Dr. Ross Grover, Curriculum Coordinator. Mr. Don Ball, Director, Safety and Security. Mr. Thomas Wall, Executive Director, Business Services. Ms. May Masalam, Coordinator, Title I. Mr. A. Mashur, Director of Student Services. Mr. Tim Grzinski, Director, Trades and Labor. Mr. Micah Saley, Director, Special Education. Ms. Pam Miller, Director, Payroll and Benefits. Sergeant Roberto Angelis, Marine Corps. Absolutely. Ms. Julie Long, President of the Edsel Ford PTSA, proud Edsel parent. Ms. Heidi Ketvertis, representing the Edsel Ford Booster Club. And Ms. Monica Wall, Crescendo Club and proud Edsel Ford parent. Of course, our administrative team at Edsel Ford, assistant principals, Mr. Pete Kochianis and Mr. Khalid Abdullah. Our math coordinator, Ms. Dana Addis, and language arts coordinator, Ms. Gretchen Bajorek. Manning the gate, our community liaison, Mr. Khalil Duklela, and our wonderful counseling staff who've been working very hard today. Ms. Hella Mohammed, Mr. Abraham Baydoun, Mr. Craig Kiefer, Ms. Gail Welmers. Sure. Our graduation intervention specialist, Mr. Kareem Naimi. Yes. And of course, Mr. Robert Doyle, the Edsel Ford Choir Director, and Ms. Sarah Oren, Edsel Ford Band Director. Also, I cannot forget the Edsel Ford faculty and staff in attendance today. Please stand and be recognized. Tonight's guest speaker, who graciously accepted the invite from the class of 2019, Ms. Suzanne Sena Fields. Edsel alumni and much more. Also her brother, former state rep and Wayne County Commissioner and Edsel Ford alumni, Mr. Gary Warrenchak. Saw him over there. Finally, I would like to introduce to you the family and friends of Hassanian Al-Khalili. Please stand if in attendance. We lost Hassanian earlier this year, and he would have been graduating with his class today. We could not properly have this gathering without acknowledging his memory, and we will do that now with a moment of silence. Thank you. Sure. Each graduating class will have two top academic achievers. These students compile outstanding academic records that earn them the titles of Valedictorian and Salutatorian. This has always been the culmination of hard work, dedication, and unsurpassed efforts to achieve these top academic positions. But sometimes we have a tie. This year we have two valedictorians and one salutatorian. It is my privilege and honor to announce to you our top three honorees. It is my honor to introduce to you Edsel Ford's first class of 2019 valedictorian, Mr. Jalal Baydoun. Jalal, please stand. Jalal has accumulated a 4.416 grade point average. Yes, stunning. He is a remarkable student who will study pre-medicine or education at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. His goal is to become a radiologist or a high school counselor. I told him, I joked at honors night about the money thing. We'll talk later. He plans to transfer to U of M Ann Arbor for medical school or take over his father's job in counseling at the high school level. He is also a 2-year member of the school's NHS program. He currently serves as a paraprofessional at the Islamic Center of America, as well as having been a key member of our varsity boys basketball team for the past 4 years. He attended Kinloch Elementary and Star International Academy prior to his arrival at Edsel. Jalal has garnered numerous awards and has participated in several student and civic organizations. He is joined by his parents, Mr. Ibrahim and Huda Baydoun. Thank you for all your support and efforts in shaping Jalal into the person he is today. Congratulations, Jalal. Next, let me introduce to you the Edsel Ford's second class of 2019 valedictorian, Mr. Vincent Lay. I finally got his last name right. I've had him since middle school, and he told me I've been pronouncing his name wrong. He finally told me at practice today. So thank you, Vincent. Vincent is a special student as well. He will also be attending the University of Michigan Dearborn, where he will study biochemistry, then head into medicine. He plans to also transfer to U of M Dearborn to do research and attend medical school. His plan is to eventually settle down in Michigan as a surgeon and practice medicine. He is also a National Honor Society member who finds time to also belong to Link Crew and Spanish NHS. He has participated in Quiz Bowl and Spanish Club. He attended Long Elementary and O.L. Smith Middle School. Our second 2019 valedictorian has also accumulated an outstanding GPA of 4.416. Yes. He is here tonight with his 2 very proud parents. Vincent is joined by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lay. Thank you both for all you have supported and given the guidance to Vincent to succeed and shape his character and personality. Congratulations, Vincent. Our class of 2019 salutatorian is Ahmad Chammout. Ahmad plans on attending the University of Michigan Ann Arbor. He is currently planning to study computer science and eventually become a software developer. He has accumulated a GPA of 4.369. His academic and outside interests include NHS, NSHSS, Key Club, Link Crew, and Tutoring Club. He proudly attended Miller Elementary and Stout Middle School. Ahmad is joined by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Malak Askar and Hussein Chammout. Thank you both for raising such a fine young man. Congratulations, Ahmad. Now let me please announce what the cords mean that you see draped around the graduates' necks. Students, please stand and be honored if you have the appropriate cord. The gold cord represents highest honors, summa cum laude, 3.8 and above. Please stand, students, 3.8 and above. Yes, well deserved. Thank you. A silver cord represents high honors, magnum cum laude, 3.79 to 3.50. Please stand if you have the silver cord. A black and white cord represents honors, cum laude, 3.49 to 3.0. If you have the black and white cord, please stand. Thank you. All students who earned a green and white cord for students that scored proficient on the M-STEP in all areas, please stand. Thank you. Any students with a Collegiate Academy cord, which are dark blue and green, please stand. Any students with the NHS stole or cords, please stand. This includes Spanish, French, and German NHS. Also, students with the Seal of Biliteracy cord, please stand. Thank you. Any students with the Michael Berry Career Center cord, they are tricolored cords, green, gold, and white. Please stand. And the DCMST cord, which is tricolored orange, white, and blue. If you have that cord, please stand. The DCMST Honor Cord is given to students that complete the DCMST program and obtain 12 STEM credits. Lastly, I'll recognize our two valedictorians who wear the Exchange Club sash. Please stand. Thank you, gentlemen. Now you are about to meet a true student advocate and Edsel supporter who would like to share a few words with you. Please let me introduce to you our Dearborn Public Schools Board Secretary, whose presence on the Dearborn Board of Education continues to shape the future of our school and our district. Please help me welcome Mr. Jim Thorpe.
I'm honored to be with you this evening on this very special occasion. This is a chance to celebrate the achievements of these students and send them forward to create their futures. Over the last 2 weeks, I contemplated what message I would convey to the seniors. The idea came to me when I was trying to get my kids out of bed earlier this week. Parents, I don't know if you've ever had the problem where your kids just won't get out of bed. Several months ago, when we were looking at the school calendar, we noticed that the Eid break was right before the end of the school year, so we decided it would be a great time to get out of town. We wanted to do something different, though, so we headed over to Europe to see London and Paris. Now, there's no way you can really see any of these cities in just 3 or 4 days, but this was going to allow our kids to get a taste for the international scene. So a week ago, I find myself struggling to get the kids out of bed to see the sights. And their response is, "Can't we sleep in? We're on vacation." My response was, no, there's just too much to see and do. There's no time to sleep in. Time. That's it. My kids were looking at time much different than I now do. In my eyes, I had 72 hours to see a city, and the clock was ticking. Time is a very important commodity for all of us. Songs have been sung about it, and one of this year's major films, Avengers Endgame, even uses it as a key plot moment. But I'm not spoiling the movie. You've heard sayings like, time flies when you're having fun, time heals all wounds, and time waits for no one. Another quote I heard recently from Harvey McKay is that time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. And once you've lost it, you can never get it back. Seniors, sometimes you feel that time might go slow, but how quick was this last year of school? And how quick was your high school years? Parents, can you believe this day's finally arrived? How many times did somebody tell you they grow up quick? It seemed just like yesterday that they were walking to school that first time in kindergarten. Seniors, I believe you become who you are because of the people seated here with you today, your parents, your families, your role models. So let's give them a hand to show how much you appreciate what they've done. I know that every minute has 60 seconds and that every hour has 60 minutes. But I swear that everything is running quicker year after year. I believe you need to maximize your time, determine what is really important to you. Realize that everything ends at some point, including this speech, which right now is at about 2 minutes. Edsel Ford graduates of 2019, I'll close with a saying that you might already know that I've adapted for you. This is one that I'll usually use at the beginning of every day. This is the beginning of a new day for you. The Lord has given you this day to use as you will. You can waste it or you can use it for good. What you do today is important because you are exchanging a day of your life for it. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving in its place something that you have traded for it. May it be gain and not loss, good and not evil, success and not failure, in order that you shall not regret the price you paid for it. May you have the wisdom and courage to make this your record for this day and every day forward. Congratulations.
We have one more dignitary and guest to announce, Miss Elaine Starlett, Director of Accounting. Please stand and be recognized. There you are. Before our next speaker, I would like us to enjoy a performance by the Edsel Ford Chamber Choir, led by Mr. Doyle. They are about to perform A Million Dreams with soloist Oscar Vasquez Torres, Elizabeth Dix, and Dakota McFarland.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, but it feels like home. Through the dark, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, think all us crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. What the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy.
Well done. Thank you. So every team has a leader, and our leader is Dr. Maleyko. He's working tirelessly to bring change, success, and rigor despite many financial and ever-changing education standards and laws. Dr. Maleyko continues to support our school and provide a clear vision for our district. Please help me welcome Dearborn Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Glenn Maleyko.
Thank you, Mr. Casebolt. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Thunderbirds. This is an exciting time filled with celebrations, and it's always a pleasure to be here for our graduation ceremony. I want to thank the Board of Education for their great support, all the dignitaries who are up here, all of you who are out here today supporting our students. It takes many hours of planning and many hours of hard work to make the commencement program run as smoothly as it does each and every year. I want to thank Principal Casebolt and his entire team for all their efforts to make this event a great success. Let's give them a big round of applause. Along with the high school teachers, there are several principals I know and teachers here this morning from the middle and elementary schools that our graduates attended. I want to acknowledge and thank all of them for making it possible for these students to be here tonight. Let's thank the faculty. They have given so much of their time and their talents to provide these students with a quality education. Thank you for your commitment to your profession, your passion for teaching, and for the positive impact you have had on the lives of these students. Well, seniors, here we are. All of the reports, projects, and papers have been graded. All of the tests have been taken, and all of your classes completed. It seems that you are ready to graduate. Well, not so fast. Your good old superintendent has one more assignment for you to complete, one more lesson to learn, and one more opportunity to prepare you for life after high school. The good news is that we're going to take care of that assignment right here, right now. Students, for this assignment, I want all of you to take out your phones. Really, take out your phones. What did you expect? You all know I'm very active on social media, and students are always asking to take a photo with our Students First sign, along with asking me to close school every other day. So go ahead, get those phones out. Most of you probably have them out anyway. I know you're texting friends about plans for tonight, checking the latest trending tweet, or just figuring out which filter would look best on your next Snapchat photo. Am I right? If any parents or staff want to join for this lesson, please feel free to take out your phones as well. All right, students, have your phone in hand. Really? I'm not joking here. This is a real assignment, and I'll be grading you. So let's get those phones ready. First, I would like you to take that phone, point it straight up in the air, high over your head, and take a photo of the sky. Our beautiful blue Michigan sky, or most of May was gray, but now, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or maybe still on Facebook, I want you to tag this photo, hashtag sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, and you are about to enter into a whole new experience in your life. You may be off to college, joining the military, working on developing a skill, or even moving right into the workforce. It doesn't matter where you are headed. The experiences that lie ahead will be different than your last 13 years, but the possibilities that lie ahead will be endless. There will be obstacles, there will be doubters, there will be mistakes, but with hard work, there are no limits. This quote comes from Michael Phelps, winner of 23 Olympic gold medals and 28 medals overall. There will be obstacles to overcome. Some may be no fault of your own, but don't let those obstacles keep you from reaching your full potential. We live in a country that offers many opportunities, and our history is filled with stories of those who have overcome adversity, broken barriers, and set new standards. Be part of that, and always remember, the sky's the limit. Step 2 in your lesson trade your phone with someone sitting next to you. It can be the person next to you, behind you, or anyone close by, and then have them take a photo of anything they would like. I'm going to do it. Yep, go ahead. Don't be shy. Trade phones, I mean it. Have them take a photo of anything. I want you to hashtag this photo, take chances. For many of you, it may have been difficult to hand your phone over to someone you might not know it all that well. You may have been a little nervous, not knowing what they were going to take a picture of. Like Dr. Chokol up here with the vision sign, thank you. I kind of knew that one. Throughout life, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone now and then. Explore new places, learn new ideas, and be willing to take a chance. The only real constant in the world is that everything is always changing. Be open to that change and be willing to take a risk. It's easy to stay in our comfort zone, surround ourselves with those who think like us, act like us, and always agree with us. But real growth only happens when we step away from that comfort zone and challenge ourselves to learn new ideas, understand different behaviors, and engage in constructive debate. All right, you can give your phones back now. Everyone should have their own phone. I would like you to point that phone, this is part 3, straight down at the ground. Take a picture of the ground. Hashtag stay grounded. Honesty, integrity, responsibility, respect for self and others, and citizenship. These are the core values we have taught you in school. More importantly, your family has taught you their core values, gave you a set of morals, and helped you to understand what is important in life. Yes, I did tell you to take chances and not be afraid of taking a risk, but never compromise your morals and values when taking those chances. Don't let greed, envy, revenge be the motivation for taking those risks. Stay grounded and don't discredit your character in order to achieve your goals. In the end, no amount of physical items will ever be as valuable as the character you have built and the values you stand for. Even Dumbledore tells the young Harry Potter, "It's our choices, Harry, that show us who we truly are, far more than our abilities." All right, part 4. Your next photo is an easy one, students. Point that photo at the crowd gathered here today. Take that photo. And place hashtag never forget family. You are here today because someone cared about you. Your parents, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, older siblings were there for you, supported you, and showed you the love they had for you. Don't ever forget that your success is the result of someone who took the time to make you important in their life. If your path takes you to a new city, a new state, or a new country, don't let the physical distance define the emotional distance between you, your family, and your friends. Share that support and love with others. Pay it forward as you move forward in your life. Take time to care, to support a cause, or just to simply be there for someone. All right, here's the final part of the assignment. Of course, it is going to be a selfie. Take that selfie. All right, I'm going to take 2. Hashtag this photo, I am the future. One of my favorite authors, Dr. Seuss, writes in his classic book, Oh, the Places You'll Go. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. We have provided you with the education. Your family has given you the love and support. The opportunities are endless. But what comes next in your life is up to you. You have the freedom to choose the direction you are headed, but you also have the responsibility to make it happen. The direction you travel may be similar to those around you, but each of you will move in a very unique path. As said in the children's book, Giraffes Can't Dance. We all can dance, he said, if we find the music that we love. Find that music you love, pursue your interests, your passions, your talents and abilities that are within will shine. This is a great day to celebrate, but what makes this celebration more enjoyable are all the memories and experiences that got us to this point. The friends we made, the laughs and the tears are all part of that experience that contributes to the joy of reaching the goal. Don't get too caught up in reaching the final destination without enjoying the trip along the way. It's the journey that requires the most planning and work, but it also provides the most experiences and accomplishments. Remember, you don't need to change the entire world. Just make your part of the world a better place for all. If everyone had that goal, the entire world would be a better place. That's it. Lesson complete. Your formal education here in the Dearborn Public Schools is done. But the knowledge to be gained through your experiences is just beginning. Don't underestimate the value of the education that life has to offer. You have the ability and the skills needed to complete the assignments, the tests, and the challenges ahead. You will not always be correct, but in your mistakes, your failures, there is opportunity for learning and growth. Commit to family, friends, and those you trust, as they will be there to help you through the rough times and celebrate the good times. I look forward to hearing all about the future success of the class of 2019. Congratulations, students. I'm very proud of you all.
Thank you, Superintendent Maleyko. Our next guest speaker actually showed me a piece of cool technology as well as a little fan that plugged in her phone, but the breeze is doing okay. Our special guest speaker today is an Edsel Ford graduate who went on to work nationally as a TV host, news anchor, entertainment reporter, and actress. From her Emmy-nominated work on the E! Channel, where she reported from the Oscars and the Emmys, to her international work as a news anchor on CBS and Fox, to the lead role in a TV series, she's had a prosperous career in television. In addition to her on-camera television career, she's also a successful entrepreneur and the founder of one of the most thriving media training companies in the country, Sena Series Media. Her last name changed, but when she went to school here, she was known as Sue Warrenchak. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she's sister to someone who has been a prominent influence in our community, her brother Gary. She now makes her home in Los Angeles, but Dearborn is where it all began. Please help me welcome former Edsel Ford graduate, Suzanne Sena Fields. Thank you. I'll move that for you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to take just a second and adjust this and this. Something I never learned when I was going here. What do you do with these things? This is unusual, but I will do my best. I'm so thrilled to be here today and was so excited to be asked by this class. I graduated from Edsel Ford in 1981. I know, right? That was a while ago. And yet somehow it still feels like yesterday that I was sitting in these bleachers just like you, a senior at Edsel Ford about to graduate. I had no idea what it was I wanted to do with my life, but I figured that the next logical step, because I wasn't ready to figure it out, was to go on to school. I went to Michigan State University. Thank you. And I went there for one reason only. My brother, who had attended the University of Michigan Dearborn, told me if I went and lived on a campus at a Big Ten university, he would be so envious. And making my brother jealous at the time was all it took, so there I went. I want to tell you, though, that when I got to school, when I got to college, I realized something that I hadn't known before. I could write papers better than anyone that I was meeting. I realized then that the education I got here at Edsel Ford was amazing and was known then and now as one of the best college prep schools there is in the country. So I'm letting you know, though it may not mean a lot to you right now, it will soon enough, that the education you've had so far has been exceptional. Sure, a lot of people made this happen. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are feeling that same pressure I did at the time, which was, what am I going to do with my life? But I want to tell you right now, you do not have to know. In fact, if you think you know, it very well can and may likely change many times. So when I was at Edsel Ford, I was big into drama. Not the personal kind, although there was a little bit of that as well. but I was a performer in our plays and our musicals. Our department was so big at that time, and I loved it. I loved it with all my heart, and I was good at it. So when people asked me, what do you want to do when you graduate? I said I wanted to be an actress. And as you might expect, some people laughed, mostly adults. And they also said things like, well, that's a nice dream to have, but they encouraged me to try and aim for something more realistic. So when I was in school, I studied advertising. And when I got out of school, I went into marketing. I started on what would be considered a more realistic and traditional path. But 15 years later, after graduation, I was working on television. I was an entertainment reporter, as your principal mentioned, on the E! Channel, and I was covering Hollywood premieres and having the kind of job I'd never dreamt of all that time after graduation. And I even got an Emmy nomination for a show that I hosted there. Blew my mind. After that, I went on to become a national news anchor, and that was something I never had planned to do. And all of that was great. But 30 years after graduation, I was acting like I always had wanted to, on television shows that you know, that you like, and also as a lead in a series, as also mentioned. It was insane. I was featured in magazines, on national morning shows. I had a billboard in Times Square with my picture on it. 30 years after graduation. And I'm telling you this because here is the point. Dreams do not come with a deadline. You have very much to accomplish, and you don't even know what they all are yet. And sometimes you won't know what dreams you want to have until you learn a little bit more, and that's okay. Be open to different opportunities because you never know where they may lead. Be kind and gracious to everyone who you speak to, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because you never know where those people will end up and how they may be a support for you in the future. I did not plan to become a news anchor, but it's only because I did that I had the opportunity later to get that role in a TV series playing a news anchor. And I did not ever plan to start a media training company, but again, the skills I learned in news helped pave the way to a business that would help me have control over my life and financial stability. Now, some of you may be under the impression that you have to be from a certain zip code, or maybe have parents who have connections, or maybe you have to come from money to find success. But I am living proof that that is not true. My father was a mechanic at Ford, and he made a modest income. He was also a bit on the old-fashioned side, and it never occurred to him that a girl would want to go to college. So when my time came to go to school, I had to find a way to finance it myself. I didn't have that support. My mother died early. But going back to being at Edsel Ford, I had some limitations there as well. I was known as the girl with the brace. I don't know if you have some people in your class who had some things like this, but I had a Milwaukee brace, which was for scoliosis, and it was an old-fashioned version of it, which means there was a metal post coming up right up into my neck, 2 metal posts on my back, tied together with this big plastic girdle, buckled in the back, tied with a screw at the top. My hair would get tangled, and I wore this for 23 hours a day, from ages 14 to 17. And I tell you that because I certainly know what it's like to feel different. I know what it's like to feel awkward and self-conscious and not be part of the popular group. I know what it's like to be physically limited, and I know what it's like to feel scared. But you know, even wearing that brace was an opportunity. I had the opportunity to learn about what it felt like to be discriminated against in some ways. I had an opportunity to learn about how to overcome my limitations early. And because people were uncomfortable around me when they first met me, I sometimes felt like I needed to initiate conversation and make them feel more at ease. And those skills have served me ever since in everything I've done in my life. No opportunity wasted. Now remember, you can all achieve anything you put your mind to, so long as you stay focused on your goals, you tell everybody you meet what it is you'd like to do, And you never lose sight of those things. You may fall down, but of course it's important to get up again. You may fail, but failure is not a block to success. In fact, it is a part of it. You shouldn't become something because you think it's expected. You should not ignore the passion inside of you if what you want is not the norm. You are not limited to just one opportunity in this lifetime. You will have many, and age is not a factor as to when those opportunities will have a chance to bloom. I was 32 years old before I worked on national television. My cousin Bella, who's with us today, is a young girl of 11, but she started a charity for the homeless when she was 9. My pal Sydney has her sights set on being a pediatric surgeon. And my brother Gary, whom we've talked about a couple times and most of you know, had a career in the newspaper business for 20 years before using those skills to focus on a political career, one that was also very successful. We each have so many chapters to write in our lifetime. The first may not be like anything you thought it would be or like any of those that follow. But as you begin to pen the story of your life, write it with integrity, live it with passion, experience it with authenticity, and above all, don't let anyone tell you how to write it. Be the author of your own story, and then title it Amazing.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is the class of 2019, Senior Class President, Miss Brianna Baliat, as voted by her peers. I am proud to introduce to you Miss Brianna Baliat.
Good evening, everyone. The greatest opportunity that Edsel Ford High School has ever offered me was the opportunity to fail. We as students have failed, whether it was today, this year, or sometime in the last 4 years at Edsel Ford. Everyone in attendance today has failed, whether it be parents, administration, teachers, or family. Failure can be considered the universal medium between all because it is a topic that we all experience, but few grow from. It is more than okay to fail, because failure indicates that there was an effort to achieve a goal in the first place. Failure does not mean that your idea was not valid or that your dream was not good enough. It simply means that there is something to be learned or another lesson or another direction to be taken. Each and every one of us here is going to fail again. But knowing that failure is not fatal will be our greatest strength when entering into the working world. Know that success is not the absence of failure. It is simply the persistence through failure itself. To close, I want to leave you with a quote from J. Cole. He says, "To never try is the ultimate failure, but love is wanting more for someone than they want for themselves." So to the class of 2019, love yourself and want more for yourself than you have ever believed was possible. As we leave Edsel Ford, do not be discouraged, never hold back, and give every single ounce of passion to what you believe is important to you. And when you fail in life, whether it be today or a year from now, understand that this is no setback, but one step closer to your next accomplishment. Thank you.
Well done. Well said. Now please help me welcome our student-at-large speaker who was selected by a team of school officials to represent the student body at large through a speech submission format. Please help me welcome our speaker, Ms. Fatimah Altatah.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, honored guests, administration, teachers, family, friends, and most importantly, class of 2019. My name is Fatimah Altatah, and I'm honored to be here today and speak on behalf of my class. However, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a cherished class member who isn't here with us, and that's Hassanain Al-Khalili. But I believe we can all agree that he is in our heart and mind, and much a part of the class of 2019. The class that will prove to all its strength in diversity and unity. The world will behold our might as family and as individuals, but most importantly, as Thunderbirds. It is our legacy, it is our brand. In the wise words of former President Barack Obama, we did not come here to fear the future. We came here to shape it. We'll not only seek our destinies, but we will leave our mark on this world. I remember sitting in those same bleachers watching my aunt graduate Edsel Ford years ago, and remembering the grand acknowledgments given to the teachers and staff, thinking, why not the students? The students showed up to put in the work, endured countless hours of testing, and struggled to do their best. But only when I entered high school did I understand all that they sacrificed for us, from waking up at 5 a.m. in order to teach us so that we can do better and be ready for the world, to staying after school to further prepare us and tutor us, or a shoulder to cry on whenever we needed it. They were always there for us, being as concerned as our own parents. They continue to stand by us and support us so that we'd be here today. For that, I speak on behalf of everybody when I say thank you. Thank you to the teachers, thank you to the staff, the administration, and all who guided us these 4 years. Let's give them a round of applause. Ever since we first walked the halls as freshmen, we've waited for this day to come, to put on our caps and gowns and sit on the same rows like many before us. But to make it where we were, we battled worksheets and testing, our phones getting taken away, and even facial acne. But most importantly, we raised $7,000 in our battle against hunger. We raised almost 18 grand for Haiti children. We had can and bottle drives, we had culture events and plentiful bake sales to raise money for Yemen and other great causes. And we couldn't have done it without each other. Whether it was donuts in the parking lot, struggling to finish up the homework before Ms. O'Rourke checks it, or procrastinating to turn in a paper that was due 2 weeks prior, we had what Charles Dickens would describe as the best of times and the worst of times, and we'll never forget the memories made as we walk out of here with our heads held high, our opportunities in our hands, and our legacy shining the way. Thank you.
Nice job, Fatimah. That was great, Fatimah. Now, please join me on this wonderful occasion in enjoying a special musical selection by the Edsel Ford High School Band, led by Miss Oren, as they perform Up. Now that's the finish. You guys tricked me. I would like to take a moment and recognize the class of 2019 student leaders who have contributed to the brand and legacy of Edsel Ford High School during the past 4 years. Audience, please hold your applause until all the names have been announced. Students, please stand when I call your name. Class of 2019 President, Ms. Brianna Baliat. Vice President, Mr. Shahab Abdullah. 2019 Secretary, Mr. Adam Zahafi. And our 2019 Treasurer, Ms. Noor Mabshour. We also have our class representatives, Ms. Sophia Islami, and also Mr. Max Marion. Our student class officers, President Zoe Regula. And here we go, the last time for the triplets. I've been 100% so far on this. Vice President, Gada Abdel Shafi. Treasurer, Gadir Abdel Shafi. And Secretary, Gaida Abdel Shafi. Yes. And now, sort of passing the torch to the junior class officers, we have our president, Mr. Ataf Shahisham, and our vice president, Miss Ellie Prescott. And I would like to thank them both for their help during all the practices, honors, and graduation, and obviously for tonight's ceremony. Thank you.